Hey everyone, Mr. Happy here, and welcome to Mondays with Mr. Happy, aka Mr. Happy Mondays, a weekly Q&A show where you ask me questions and I answer them. Dude, my brain is mush. I beat Heaven on High, floor 100 today. There's going to be a couple of videos coming out about that. Some of them just highlights of my failures, and one of them probably just the raw clear, just because, why not? So that's going to be coming this week. My Ayaka polls are going to be hitting a YouTube video later this week. Still planning on doing a State of the Realm, this Q&A. And I have a bunch of other video ideas. Like, I have so many video ideas, you have no idea, but it means a big workload. But honestly, I don't know when I'll get a lot of these out. This week's going to be super busy on the Twitch side. Chris Tales, New World Beta, what's it called? The Genshin 2.0 update. Make It Rain. It's going to be big for me. I still do my weekly Unreal clears on Tuesdays as well. So I'm probably going to be streaming extra hours alongside my T reprog, which I actually have in about an hour. So I need to get moving on this video. Thank you to our sponsors over on Patreon for supporting. You don't have to. There's nothing special about supporting from over there. All my content's free and available here on YouTube. So anyone who is supporting over there, shout out to you, but you don't have to. You can enjoy this content here all the time. Also, special shout outs to our patrons of Darkness, Kuja Cross, Anjanova, and Kernai Oni, who've gone above and beyond. Thank you to those two. Thank you to all my patrons, and thank you to you for tuning in. Let's see what kind of questions we got. All right, first one looks like a simple one, and it's from today. Hashtag Mr. Happy Mondays. Hello, my friend. Hello. Long-time watcher, second-time question. I mean, I recognize, unless you're somebody else, pretty sure I recognize who this is because you come by my Twitch stream plenty. You think it will matter to go back to old zones and do all the side quests before Endwalker? I'm going to take Ishikawa's advice on this and focus mainly on Omega and the Binding Coils as big things to do. But I'm going back and redoing all of the major contents. I'm going back and doing Evil East and going back, and I already did Shadows of Mach. I'm going to go back and do Omega. I'm even going to replay through Eden, Shadowbringers. I'm gonna redo everything, but little tiny side quests, now I think those are gonna remain largely just sticking to kind of zone-based lore, and then those occasionally filter into other things that they plan in the future, but for the grand scheme of things, I don't think so. Question number 2, hashtag Mr. Happy Mondays. Hi, Haps. Hey, hope you're doing well generally, aside from your streams and vids. I'm doing good. I got my workout routine going. I got my cooking and eating schedule going. Everything's feeling A-okay. What do you think about the recent exodus from WoW 14 following the lead? Do you think it'll be a good thing, or would they bring in some toxicity? Let me be very clear about something. 14 is not without toxicity. There seems to be this weird thought that 14 is somehow immune to toxicity on the internet, or that it's a generally less toxic place. I'd say that from our perspective, it seems that way, but it's still a part of the internet. Like, let's not act like this. I've seen it over the years. So let's not act like another games community is going to bring over more toxicity, because Final Fantasy 14, the kind of toxicity people get away with in 14 is not the nerd rage Call of Duty, like baby rage on Xbox kind of toxic. It's like subtle toxicity, and there's casual toxicity, there's hardcore toxicity, but it's like sarcastic and smiley facey as opposed to being this like uber rage fest. So it's there, it's just disguised fairly well. So I don't think another game's community coming over, anyone who's this kind of toxic that I just described, they're just joining the number of people that are already like that. And the people who are loud and obnoxious are probably going to get banned, because 14 is pretty strict about those kind of things. So no, I don't think that's going to be a problem. As for my thoughts, I put out a video about this. I generally don't like to spend my energies on things I have no control over. I just recommend that any of the streamers that are doing it, take your time, enjoy things. Don't let anyone else ruin your experience. Just be honest with your first thoughts, and don't let anyone else try to influence them. You know, the new player experience is a very, very important thing to criticize and to provide feedback on, and to enjoy. And 2, for the people themselves coming over, also take your time. It's not a game that's rushed to max. So that's about it. I only have advice for those people, but I have no specific thoughts on I guess this thing that's going on right now. Hashtag Mr. Happy Mondays. Hey Haps, hope your day is going well. The Heaven on High win means my day cannot go wrong at this point. Whenever you plan on going for the rare mounts, aka Pterodon, Estrope. I mean, I have rare mounts, I just don't go for the stupid mounts. The Pterodon looks terrible, so that I already don't like crafting and gathering very much. Enough to get certain things done, ocean fishing, but not enough to do that. And it looks terrible. Like, I like to go for good-looking mounts, like the hunt mounts. I would totally go for those if I was on more often. I'm just not on frequently enough to really, I guess, do enough S ranks to get it done in a timely fashion. So I'm just not on that frequently, and especially in peak hours when things are actually being spawned. And then a Stropewood is that the Mentor mount? I refuse to even unlock the Mentor system because I think that system sucks, and I see so many people who use it who are just... we were talking about Toxicity in the previous... I'm not going to lie. Some mentors are some of the most toxic people I've ever seen. There are good mentors. You're out there. I appreciate you. I just don't ever meet you. I don't know why. I don't know how. But I wish there were more of you. Because most of these mentors, I would shut the whole damn system down if you gave me the option. So, no. I already have things like Ozma, my land waffle from the Shadowbringers trials. I have a bunch of stuff. And then I have rare achievements. Like, I just sold Heaven on High. That doesn't come with a mount, but it's a freaking achievement. And then my ocean fishing title, I just go for things that I want. I don't care how rare they are. I just care that I want them. Hashtag Mr. Happy Mondays. Hey, Haps, hope your week is an awesome one. Thank you, and same to you. The question for you is this week is about Endwalker prep. If they don't squish item level, they've not said anything about doing so. What would be the minimum item level to start Endwalker? Oh, whatever you finish the story with. Whatever the minimum item level is when you finish Endwalker is the minimum item level you would be able to go into Endwalker with. That's kind of just always the case, because they need to make sure you can flow from story to story without really having to worry about it. They normally update old stuff and like give it gear, and they'll definitely do that for Shadowbringer stuff so people get into Endwalker more cleanly, I suppose. But if you can beat Shadowbringers, if you finished all 0.55, you're good. I would recommend getting item level 520 or 530 stuff, 530 especially. Cap your tomes every week. Make sure you're getting your upgrade materials from the hunt or from the near raids. Upgrade that stuff to 530. Get your resistance weapon, which is 535, because those are going to be your best leveling items for usually about 4 or 5 levels, and that helps a lot. And then you start replacing them after that. So if you can finish it, you're good, but I would recommend getting 530 stuff. Hashtag Mr. Happy Mondays. No hello. We actually haven't had a no hello in a while. You shouldn't be proud of this, but you're the first in a while. I noticed your content with 1 to 99 and 11. I know it's old. I just got back into it. Doing some research to see you're more into 14. I mean, I've always been more into 14 than 11. Like, as long as 14 and 11 have both been around, and that includes 1.0. I played 1.0 14 more than I played that era of Final Fantasy 11. I've always been more into 14. That's not like more. It's not like a time of day. It's just like for event stuff. For anniversaries, I made those 1 to 99 videos. Do you ever go back and rehash those? I mean, I have a Dancer and Puppet Master and a Ninja with relics and Empyreans and mythic weapons. My Ninja Aeonic, I think, is well on its way. I think I just need a few more bosses for that. The only thing I haven't kept up with is in the last year, I don't really feel a reason to log in. Like, I don't want to make another Rema. I'm not going to do, like, it's just, nothing's interesting for me to do. And that's the thing. When I look back on old school 11, I look back and I didn't do it because I thought the content was interesting. I did it because that was my primary social hub throughout high school was Final Fantasy 11. If it wasn't for the people I was playing with, there's no chance I would have played that game as long as I did when I was a kid. Because anytime I was playing games with my other friends, when I was playing World of Warcraft and, like, you know, vanilla or TBC or whatnot, I was having fun. I wasn't thinking about how when I was going to log into 11. I was just like, all right, I'm playing WoW right now because I'm playing with my friends. So I don't look at 11 very much. I log in occasionally to, like, catch up on Voracious Resurgence. I haven't even done that in a while. And that's about it. Hashtag Mr. Happy Mondays. Good day to you. That is a good hello. So hello to you back. And good day to you as well. I use Lost Fonts of Power and Honored Sacrifice in DR. That is the bread and butter. Is it better to stack them? It is better to stack them. So damage in Final Fantasy XIV is multiplicative when it comes to buffs like that, not additive. So that means that when you're stacking these on top, on top, on top, they're all multiplying. And they're all adding to a massive damage increase. Now, I will say that when you're going really fast in fights, sometimes you got to pop Honored Sacrifice without holding it for Font of Power. If you're doing them really slow, like if it's in the Duty Finder and it's like a 40-minute run, you'll probably end up holding Font of Power to pair with Honored Sacrifice for a good burst window where you're not doing mechanics. You'll hold Honored Sacrifice to use with Font of Power. I think I said it backwards right there. But yeah, you generally want to keep them stacked up and force 2-minute rotations out of yourself instead of 90 seconds or whatever you're used to. Hashtag Mr. Happy Mondays. Hey, Haps. Hope you're doing well. Same to you. Will we see the Endwalker main menu or quest complete music? Yeah, we normally see, or hear in the case of music, One or both of those around the battle trailer. So in this case, that would be around September, because then they usually log into the game and we get to actually see the opening menu for a brief moment. The music, the quest complete music, maybe. That's a maybe. I don't know if they ever really preview that. I just don't recall that from the past. But the main menu, the login screen, that we'll almost certainly see in September. Hashtag Mrhappy Mondays. Hey Haps, hi. Tonberry and Kujata being what they are. I'm assuming you mean Aussie focused, like English speaking servers on the JP data center, or have English speaking communities. Question: are they going to move these two servers and add new ones? No, they're just going to have completely new. They're not. These aren't. The Australian community doesn't own these servers. They have budding Japanese communities on them. They are not moving those servers. They're not. They are staying right where they are. They're going to give people looking to go to Oceania data center. They're going to give them a free transfer and make all new servers. They're not going to remove servers from JP just because they had high English speaking communities. Hashtag Mr. Happy Mondays. Hi, Mr. Happy. Hi, hope you're doing well. Same to you. Seeing as we've been suggesting Hall of the Intermediate to the 14 team for some time, could revamping the Guild Has content be a good solution? Some of the encounters are pretty good if approached as a learning tool. We'd like to hear your thoughts. I mean, they could. I mean, honestly, Guild Has already kind of acts as a Hall of the Intermediate. It's just most people will not tell new players to do it, in all honesty. It teaches you a lot about killing certain enemies at certain times, or separating enemies, or dealing with that. It is in its own way a Hall of the Intermediate, but I think when people think Hall of the Intermediate, they don't actually think learning about more specific game mechanics. They think about actually teaching people how to play their jobs, like Hall of the Intermediate for Black Mage Warrior. I mean, I do think they need a specific Hall of the Intermediate that does actually do what we're describing, not the jobs, but like a more general learning tool. I do think that's something that they should look into more so than a specific job teaching tool. And I think Guild has kind of already do it. They just would need to update them. Here's the big thing. I still don't think they ever do it. I don't. I would like them to, but I've lost confidence that they'll ever do it. So, fuck me, right? Alright, sup, Haps? This one didn't have a hashtag, but I saw it was a question. You doing alright? I'm doing alright. You doing alright? I'm doing alright. Quick lore-related question. Why is Proto Ultima in Dun Scaith? Seemed really out of place. Would make sense to have it in Azus Law. So, in Azus Law, Proto Ultima is in Azus Law. It's from Azus Law. The super fate that spawns, I think it's like Prey something. It's because of Proto Ultima that thing even appears. He flies around Azus Law, launches blasts at innocent players as they explore and do the MSQ for the first time. So he's from there. When we woke up Azus Law, that's when Proto Ultima actually awoke. He ends up in Dun Scaith because the weapons are drawn to Ether because they basically take them as primal readings and they want to absorb them. So he's automated. He went to basically go to Dun Scaith to try and absorb these void scent because the sensors, he just picked up a large ether reading and thought, oh, that's a primal. So his AI just kicked in and immediately went there. But that's why he's there. And he is from Azus Law. Hashtag Mr. Happy Mondays. Hey, Haps, hope you're doing all right. I'm doing all right. You doing all right? I'm doing all right. Since you're pulling for Ayaka, that's an understatement. What is your theorized team? What is your favorite team to run? So right now, my favorite DPS are still Razor and Klee. I haven't pulled on anyone since November, mind you, so it's not like I've gotten Ganyu or any of the or Zhao or anything like that. So the big thing with Ayaka is a freeze comp for me. So Shinsho is a natural secondary. But if I want to go like ultra, like loser, like just want a super themed party, I mean, I'd have to go Ayaka, Shinsho, Kiching, and who is my last one on that list? There's one more that I'm thinking of. Basically, it's Team Virgil. Is what I'm trying to make. It's been so long since I've thought about this. I kind of forgot who the other one is on this team. Yeah, who is it? Ayaka, Shinsho is for summon. Oh, I mean, I could go Chong, but that's kind of that's like he's got the other summon swords. That doesn't work. Who is the other person I had in mind for this that just it has like a Virgil-esque skill? I don't know, but it would be something Team Virgil for fun, not for seriousness. But if, for her, a freeze comp seems like a natural evolution. I have the free set prepped from Dragonspine for her. That gives her the crit rate when enemies are frozen. But I do need a backup set in case I can't consistently freeze certain enemy types. I guess if there's ever anything I can't consistently freeze, her crit rate will just plummet. I think it's like 50 or 55% with my set if they're actually frozen. But if not, it's like 28 or something. That's not very good at all. So that's gonna be the thing. Right now, though, I tend to run like Klee, Shinsho, Zhongli, and the last one's kind of up for grabs. Like sometimes I'll bring Venti to group things up, or sometimes I'll bring like Kia just to freeze things, or just I've had all sorts of things. Whatever. I just get me to Ayaka. Hashtag Mr. Happy Mondays. Hiya, pal. You Dane. I'm not. That's Scottish. I'm not even gonna try. It's the. I know how it sounds in my head, but how it comes out of my mouth ain't gonna work. I have 2 free hellos in case anyone forgets. Good, you've covered 1 so far. Do you think they'll ever upgrade Monk's Bootshine visually? I mean, I think they could do with a lot of visual upgrades to Monk's skills just because they've been the same for so long. I wouldn't even be surprised for them to just get rid of Leaden Fist altogether and just evolve Bootshine whenever you would get Leaden Fist. You know what I mean? Kind of like with Raiden Thrust. So, and you've even said how Dragoon skills look sometimes. So yeah, I think Monk could probably use a few visual updates on some of its old skills, and this seems like an okay way to do it. All right, next one. Hashtag Mr. Happy Mondays. Hello, old chap. Tally ho, pip, pip. What? Okay. Hi. I had a couple of questions I was hoping you could answer. Sure. Do you think there would ever be a way of having a caster themed job as a tank? The answer is always yes, because they can do whatever they want. They would still have to wear fending gear, mind you, but I mean, we already have 2 tanks that use magic in some way. It's just not like they're not casters. Like you don't think caster when you think paladin, even though they have their casting phase. You don't think caster when you think of all the Dark Knight OGCDs, even though it's all magic and cost MP and stuff. But yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be like impossible for them to do it. But the big thing is you wouldn't be like a mage tank, if that, like, you wouldn't be like, I know people will say, oh, do you think we'll ever get a ranged tank? And I'm like, you can't, because you're always going to be in the face of the enemy. Could you be a tank with a gun or a tank with magic? Absolutely. But they're never going to make a tank that only functions from far away, because doesn't make any sense. Honestly, if you're going to do a ranged tank, the only thing I could think of is Puppet Master or Beastmaster. Their pet tanks it, but like you'd have to lifelink your pet with your HP bar to do that. So you like put your pet down and that would be horrible. Don't do this. I didn't like doing it with Titan. I don't want to do it as any other job. So you don't let us control the other pets as it is now. Do not let this ever be a thing, please. As for question number 2, let me scroll down right here. How did you and Slime meet? Come to do videos together. We met at FanFest. My girlfriend was in line with him, waiting for our tickets for the first one. And yeah, she introduced us, and it was all gravy from there, pretty much. That's it. It's a really simple. Sly and I met. I asked him if he wanted to do State of the Realm. When Mel suggested that we do a podcast, she was taking over a lot of like setting it all up and everything, like getting us doing all the back end work while I checked to do all the front end work. So yeah, it was pretty simple. It's much more heartwarming when we're together and talking about it. But for now, it's just that very simple explanation. Hashtag Mr. Happy Mondays. Hey, Mr. Happy, welcome to Mondays with Mr. Happy, the weekly Q&A where we ask you questions and you answer them. You damn right. Hello. I've been told content creators like it when they get positive feedback on their content. I mean, we like all feedback, but some people don't know how to word feedback. There's one way of being like, oh, I don't really agree with that, versus I fucking hate you, go kill yourself. They're 2 very different ways to say that you don't like something. And a lot of people kind of lean towards the latter for some reason. It's just, they can't rein it in. So yeah, but yeah, positive feedback that's an ego boost. That's a pat on the back. We'll take that. Really like Alexander recap. It definitely helped me recall much of what I had. This person's name is Quick Thinks All Thoughts, and they liked my Alexander recap. Fitting. I know you said you had a lot of content coming out. Wonder if there are any other plans to recap stories. Those are among them. I'm already planning Shadows of Mach. I've been meaning to do it, but I've had other ideas that have taken precedence. I'm going to be recapping Omega. I'm going to be recapping Eden. Basically, going to go through all of them. I also have something special planned for the actual main stories that are not really recaps, but you'll see if I can get around to it. I think I can. It's a lot of work, but fortunately the videos I'm thinking of aren't too long. So you'll see. You'll see, hopefully. All right, hashtag Mr. Happy Mondays. Hey, Hap. Hi. See, look at that nice big hello that we got there. I'm telling a lot of my friends who are coming from WoW about the rating schedule in 14. Every other patch, there's 4 major bosses, Savage, maybe a trial. Well, there's always a trial, or 2. I tell them it's simple enough anyone wants to get into rating understands. So one of my friends asked me, since so many people are coming from WoW to 14, will they increase the number of raid bosses? We have been asking them for a raid boss increase. It has nothing to do with how many people are in the game. It has everything to do with how long it takes them to make an average raid boss. they said, listen, we're always hiring. We're always looking to get more people. If we have more testers, more raid content developers, things like that, yeah, maybe we can do it. But they don't just decide, hey, we're going to make another boss because we can. Because they would have been doing that already this whole time. So it doesn't matter how many people come over or have expectations from another game. The reason 14 is the way that it is, and the reason it's survived, and the reason it's resurrected, and the reason it continues to even get updates is because it follows this schedule. It makes sure that there's consistency in both the encounters, in the schedule, in the expectation, with a few surprises sprinkled in. So outside of extra bosses like a Phase 2 or something like E12 or going back to 04 and 08 and 012, you probably won't see an extra boss. I would love it, and I hope they do it, but I wouldn't expect it. All right, so I actually have plenty of time to do more questions, but all the remaining questions are kind of, in my mind, they're quick 1-2s, but I'm just going to lightning round the rest of these so I have a little bit of time before raid so I can just like chill out and get ready for doing some more Ultimate tonight. So I'm going to start from the bottom here and then work my way back up to where I was. And also there's a few questions I skipped over deliberately to save for the lightning round. Somebody asked me how I would rework Summoner. First of all, I don't play casters. I don't think it's fair. I like to give like random thoughts on Summoner, like, oh, maybe it could be done this way or that way. But something more in depth, I think, should really be done or presented by somebody with a lot more experience on the Summoner job. For me, it's just spitballing ideas without a firm enough grasp on how to make it work or what it has right now that really sings to the Summoner community versus what really actually needs to be changed versus just the full rework idea that I've thrown out there a few times in the past. There was somebody without a question. They're just looking forward to making a bunny boy. That's fine. That's cool. There was someone asking if we're going to get more involved class quests. You'll probably get them for Reaper and Sage, but otherwise just expect a level 90 class quest. Just one quick one to somewhat push the plot lines of those classes ahead, similar to the level 80 ones we had. We are getting an extra series of role quests this time. We had 4 last time, plus the combined finale. This time we have 5. No mention of a combined finale, but I'm sure there will be one. I'm hard-pressed to imagine there won't be. Then there was a question about making OGCDs available earlier. They just have a question in regards to that. What if they made each job unlock their job gauge at 30? So it's actually funny you bring this up. This answer is going to be a little longer. One video series that I'm thinking of making is what if, like ways that jobs could look at earlier levels if we moved certain things around or like removed certain skills to make room for other things. So I might actually be making a video that is exactly what you've just suggested. Basically take everything off my hotbar that I wouldn't theoretically have, and we see what those jobs look like. That is a video idea that is actually coming, say 2-3 weeks, I'd assume. Depends on how quickly I get around to it. So I'm going to have a visual example of what you're suggesting in here. So we can reconnect on this a little bit later. I'm a big Persona fanboy. Can I get a closer look? I don't have pants on, or I would go get it. Just zoom in. It's basically just says Midnight Channel. It has all their names at the bottom. Teddy, airing at midnight, and then a bunch of cool details around it. Thank you to Atlas for sending me that, by the way. Also, that PC right there is not that old. It's like 4 years old. There's a 2060 in that thing. Maybe that's not 4 years. I don't know. That thing's not that old. It just looks like shit because it's been sitting there now for so long. Then there was another one here. Do you think formula for exploration content will be stale by next expansion? No, because I thought that was going to happen with Bozja, but compared to Eureka, it was a very different experience. So I feel like they know that they can go nuts in that type of content. They do not need to hold back, and that lets them really get creative with it, even if the baseline under it is still relatively the same. I do expect that we will have another DRS/BA equivalent. We will probably have at least one exploration zone, but man, I'm telling you, I saw another comment that said don't do this, but deep dungeon, man, I'm telling you, if they could put a deep dungeon and exploration content that used exploration content, like actions or skills or things like that, I don't know. I'd have to work it out in my head a little bit more, but I think there's potential there. I think there's potential. Okay, anyway. Somebody said there's a free login, asking questions. For the free login thing, whatever it says on the thing, I think it's a question of if you start on like the 22nd and you get 14 days free, but the 23rd goes, does it cut off your time? I think it does. I think it cuts off your time, but I actually can't answer that for certain. I'm sure there's probably more information about it on the actual thing. Somebody asked about platinum coins. Can I spend them on any more than these few things? No, there's not a whole lot to spend platinum coins on, unfortunately. The hairstyles, that's it. I've been buying hairstyles and selling them. That's about it. Southern Front would benefit from more medal rewards. No, because I think EXP is better in Bozja. The EXP is the same, but I think getting around and consistently getting to everything in the Bozjan map is far more manageable. So, no, I think it'll be fine. I don't think they need to change much. Deliverum's the only thing I expect them to change a whole lot going into the future, personally. There was a Dark Knight who says their logs are really good, but they play with a more casual static, and they were asking, like, should I try looking for a more hardcore static? I think if you're happy with who you're playing with, you don't need to be, because a hardcore static might, like, meet your goals, but if you're having fun right now, and with the group you're playing with, that should always take precedence over the type of group you're playing with. And if you can ever hit both, great, but it's for me, that just is the more important thing. So I'd say no. Don't look for a more hardcore group because you sound very happy with your current group based on what I'm reading right here. Maybe try and, like, you could join a second static, maybe make a second character, try and join a second static to play on days. But then again, yeah, but then you have to abandon them for week 1, or you'd have to commit to less hours so you could play with both raid groups. There's ways that you can make both of these things work, but it might be a little bit too stressful, especially in the time department. Somebody asked about PS5 errors in terms of, like, FPS drops. Apparently stairs are really bad, but I haven't played the PS5 version at all, so I'm no expert on that. We'd hope maybe Tuesday would have some fixes for that with 5.58 and maybe some more fixes before Endwalker, but there's no way of knowing. We'll just keep hoping that the PS5 version sees some sort of a reasonable update, I suppose. There was one asking, like, do I want a Xenos trial or, like, a solo fight trial? Definitely try. I mean, it'd be more like a Zodiark Xenos trial, kind of like Shinryu, I'd assume. But I'd hope for a phase where he gets to be him. As for will he get a redemption story? No. I think that there's a chance that he takes Fandaniel and removes him from our presence, but not for sake of being a hero, for sake of being in his way, which, you know, is in line with his character. Somebody asked me about drama that occurred with a content creator. Guys, I never want to talk about drama with a content creator. It doesn't matter to me. It just doesn't. I'm from New Jersey. We're the kings of drama. I had drama my entire life growing up. I had drama throughout high school, college, everything. I'm 30 years old now. The last thing I'm thinking about is some drama that because somebody had an opinion, because I've read through this already. I've also heard about it on, like, Twitter and stuff. It just doesn't matter. It doesn't change my perspective, doesn't change anything. I'd rather focus my energies on more important things. Like, I don't know, it's just such a not interesting thing to me. And people always try to bring drama to me, or the people try to force drama out of a situation, and it's like, listen, if I've got a really big problem with somebody, I will just say that I have a big problem with said person. If I don't know anything about a person, they have an opinion that's different than me or an assessment I don't agree with, I'm not going to go and argue with them or like dedicate energy to that. I could be doing so much better. I could be doing so many better things with that time, so many better things with that energy. And I think a lot of people could benefit from not getting caught up in random drama and problems that are so minuscule that they're like blips in existence that just will never matter again outside of the momentary anger, disappointment, and disagreements that occurs from it. Whereas we can focus energies on things that actually make the world better. So, if anything, that's my thought on it. If somebody has some sort of different opinion or just their assessment is based on just experience that people don't find adequate or whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to move on with my life and do better things. That's all that really ever matters to me. Let's see. I know there were a few more that definitely skipped past. That's the positive feedback one. Hello, Chuck. People always ask me if I'm doing a media tour. Guys, even if I am, I'm not going to tell you. So, there's no point in asking. If I have told you, it's because I'm allowed to tell you. And if I can't, then I can't answer. So, asking the question, basically, if you don't know, then it's because you don't and you won't until you can, and then you do. And I also don't ever take for granted the idea that I will be included. I know a lot of people like to just assume, oh, he's happy, of course he'll be included. Another life lesson, I never operate under the assumption I automatically get something. I always operate under the assumption I am constantly earning something. So I don't take for granted I'll just hope that I'm a part of it. Then we had the Monk one, Ayaka one. And if ever get more limited jobs, I think we might, but I might is 30-70 on the might. 30 we do, 70 we don't, in all honesty. Do GMs have an actual jail in Eorzea? There's a zone called the Mordian Jail that they teleport you to if you get sent. I've heard the jail's actual zone line is located somewhere in the world. I think it was in the hinterlands or something. I remember people finding it when they were clipping out of bounds, but they might have moved it since then. So, yeah, but it's its own zone, the Mordian Jail. And it's the same name. They had the same location in Final Fantasy XI as well, but it's designed differently in 14. Let's see, what else? Did you hear about the sold out fiasco? Yeah, so the way that most digital sites do codes, they do like digital distribution, is they generate a bunch of codes for a database and then they occasionally replenish them. So odds are they like update that database maybe once a week with new codes. So that way they don't have to generate one on the spot. And that it ran out. So many people pre-ordered that it didn't get a chance to do a refresh, or just because they're not used to that kind of volume. And so they had to manually force one. And within a few hours, it was fixed. So that was, I'd imagine that's how their systems work on the back end. Because I know some other systems and some other companies that do it that way, instead of constantly generating a new code every single time somebody makes a purchase. When will the final Beast Tribe quest for this expansion come out? It won't. They've told us for better part of like 9-10 months ago that we weren't going to be getting one. So you can stop waiting for it because it's not going to exist. Oceanic server, what will the server names be and why? I don't know. There's no good reason. What do you expect? They're going to be Final Fantasy named. They're not going to name them like Kangaroo and Boomerang. Like they're not going to do that. So there's no way I could possibly guess that and be anywhat appropriate about it. So no, I got no guesses. Someone asked about the old relics. All old relics before resistance weapons are for looks, and when Endwalker comes out, resistance weapons will just be for looks, and for the first 5 levels of 70 to 75, pretty much, like I described earlier. Someone was asking, do I think they should level Sage first or do the MSQ? I mean, it only takes, if you're really quick, it only takes like 5-6 hours to level the new jobs to 80 and then start the MSQ. That's what I'm doing on Reaper. So, just play Sage. If you want to play Sage, play Sage. Let's do it. There's definitely another one or two that I left for later, I feel like. Yeah, I just want to ask about Asmund streaming it. And again, that kind of like, I try not to think too much about things that are outside of my control. I always just wish new player, I hope you enjoy it and be honest about your first opinions. Don't let anyone, the same things I said earlier, where it's just like, let people form their own opinions, whether you agree or disagree, and just have a good time. Enjoy it. That's all we can ever ask for things. I think that might be the last one, actually. That might be the last one. Is that the last one? This is the part of the video where I go, maybe I should cut the camera while I'm wondering this. Oh, and then a bunch of people saying the thing I was thinking of last week was phased. That was the word I couldn't remember. I think I got all of them. I don't think I skipped past any of them, at least not on purpose, at the very least. So that is going to be a wrap for this Q&A. What an ending, right? So if you have a question for next week's episode, be sure to put it in the comment section of the video below, and be on the lookout for some of the videos I named in this video, because as you can tell, I've got all sorts of ideas up in this tiny little noggin of mine, this not so galaxy brain up here, and hopefully they'll be hitting your YouTube subscription box in a reasonable period of time. But anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Enjoy your week, and until next time, take care.